we're going to see the Fox, right? But I to that point, I feel like for Falco Ditto specifically, it's almost like not necessarily if you're just a better player, but you can just have really solid punish in that Falco Ditto, and it's like whoever gets laser off first and kind of can convert that into an opening. Yeah, like we'll see something crazy happening here. It doesn't look like we're gonna get that for this round, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, unfortunately that the game started off with that SD at the beginning, and the momentum really hasn't shifted away from Ginger's favor. Didn't see a homie stock there. I don't blame him. This is a tournament. There is money in the line, so, gotta give it to him.
Yeah, Ginger just with a massive, massive lead so far, too, and he's just extending it as we speak.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And this is, oh, man, Skerzo just, this is when you jump off the edge, I think. I'm going to focus on, adapting to the next game. Personally, I don't know. How do you feel about that kind of thing?
It depends, really, it comes down to the player, right? Because there is still things you can pick up. I think for a player of Ginger's caliber, yeah, you're probably just going to get smothered at this point. You're down quite a few stocks. I don't know if there's a lot you can pick up. Maybe just keep the fresh mental state for the next game. But it's hard to say definitively, right?
Yeah, it's tricky. I definitely agree with that idea of okay, we're going to download my opponent, see some of their habits. But at the same time, I'm a big believer in this mental stamina and this kind of focus. And also just keeping a positive vibe. You know what I mean? Oh, God, I'm getting 3 stocked. Maybe let's just go to the next game kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. And then when we're thinking about next game, what do you think in terms of what Skerzo would need? Because it's kind of hard to figure out what you need in terms of adjustments, right? If you get 4 stock, 3 stock. If it looks pretty dominant by one player, it kind of feels like all hope is lost at some points. And, stages help a little bit marginally, but I'm not really too sure what other gameplay adjustments Skerzo's going to need here.
Just want to point out that really, really solid jab reset SDI from Ginger to make it so that he couldn't get the follow-up punish, he being Skerzo. No, I completely agree with the stage stuff, with the kind of how do you change things. I do think if there is a matchup that can kind of look really one-sided and then change, it is kind of a dynamic matchup like Fox Falco. But yeah, I think he probably picked Stadium. Beautiful shine turnaround downer there. He probably picked Stadium because it's like a mini FD, right? So the punish game can be a bit more aggressive. You can get more openings off of a single hit. Could lead to something. Close.
Okay. Yeah, just kind of over-aggressive ledge play, too. Skerzo makes it work there, but, in a lot of cases, Ginger's kind of on top of those situations, like rising nair from the ledge. Pretty rough to kind of come around.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of the options that are leading to kills from Ginger are really just examples of Skerzo playing a bit slower and recognizing openings and situations a bit slower as well. We've seen situations where Ginger suddenly makes it back on stage and he just punishes an opening and gets a stray hit, and the same thing happens to Skerzo like we just saw. He's just a bit slow. He gets up tilted there. He doesn't get the reaction as quickly as he'd like, and it just keeps leading to these reversals. That 2-0 right there. That was the
yeah. It's I mean, yeah, it's tough, especially in a matchup like that. And I think that's kind of almost the spacey blessing and curse, right? Is that you can really mess people up, but if you get messed up, there isn't a lot of time for you to figure out what went wrong. Versus if you play a floaty, for instance, yeah, you can literally slow the game down. But when you're getting smothered, when you're getting overwhelmed like that, it's a tough position to be in. I feel for Skerzo. I think they played pretty well, made some pretty solid adjustments overall in game 2, but not quite enough against a player of Ginger's caliber.
Yeah, no, you bring up a really good point. It's something people talk a lot about when they're evaluating Puff's tier list potential, is they talk about how with Puff, if you want to slow the game down, not just because you want your opponent to maybe have to approach or you want to play defensively, but also just to stop and collect yourself, get your emotions kind of level. You have the freedom to do that. And with Fox, it's exactly as you're saying. The matchup is so fast paced, you don't really have time to stop and think and adjust. So it's really rough.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, shout outs to Ginger though, of course, just been kind of a staple for all of these tournaments of just consistent high performances overall. And today is no different. I expect him to go pretty far in this bracket. I think there's going to